Welcome to our social media webinar. I would like to say hi to all our sales and marketing team here in the office, and to all of our guests. We have some guests in Asia, I think in Africa, and also from Europe. So good afternoon and good evening to everybody. We are very excited for today's meeting. Today's session will be led by our social media manager, Miss Robin Lebovitz. Robin has been with Medispec for the last several months, and she has an experience from this field for over 15 years. Since her joining Medispec, our audiences doubled, and some of those efforts has led to increase of our sales. I think it's a great opportunity to learn from her experience, and we encourage you to ask questions. For that purpose, please use our chat area, okay? We also have some questions coming from the emails that we can present. We plan for about 20-minute session, and that will be followed by your questions. The session is recorded, and we will share it with everybody, everybody that registered after the event. And again, I remind you that you are all on mute, so please use the chat area to ask questions. And without taking too much time of Robin, Robin, please begin. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. If you do have questions, please just add them in the chat, and I'm happy to answer them later. Today, we want to talk about how social media can grow your business in 2021. We're in really difficult times with COVID, and we're all looking for ways that we can expand our reach, especially in these difficult times where we can't go to trade shows, we can't go to direct face-to-face meetings, we can't travel. But using social media, you can be able to connect with new people, make new business connections. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I first wanted to mention that possibly social media has been around for as long as I've been in the workplace. This is just one CEO. He was quoted in 2010 in the Harvard Business Review saying, you can't just dabble in social media. You can't use them only when things are good. You have to deal with rain as well as sunshine. And he was really big on Twitter and Facebook. He thought that if he wasn't using those channels and platforms, that he wouldn't be able to see the messages, what's important to customers and employees. So this is just one thing I wanted to point out, because it's not a new, it's not really a new technology, but some of the tools that are in place now are really new. For example, in the past year, Instagram has made so many changes. They've made every aspect of the platform shoppable. So you can actually make purchases directly on different areas of the Instagram platform. So if you had a private clinic, a private buyer could actually purchase something on the web. So it's something to consider when you're building out your marketing plan for 2021. So how can social media grow your business? First, you can discover an endless source of leads. You can decide which channel is the right one for your business, where to focus. You can get started using 1 or 2 social media channels if you're not already, and establish your social media marketing plan for 2021. We all know there's a lot of competition out there, and the way to get seen and be heard now is online because of the fact that we can't go and visit in person. And so a lot of these smaller businesses, the distributors, you need to become known as the go-to expert in shockwave therapies in your region. So you're going to become known as that go-to person when anyone has a question about that, about shockwave therapies, about the kidney stone treatments. You're the go-to person. You're the expert. And how do you get to become that person? Well, you can start to develop that online presence with all the answers. You have the answers. And in sales, you used to have this idea. There was a rule of 7, where you needed to touch that prospect 7 times. You needed to have a phone call, a meeting, some sort of in-person trade show, or some kind of touch points 7 times. And now that rule's changed to, from what I've heard in the industry, is 107. So that every time you're emailing, you're contacting the person, that's another touch point. And in a medical device field where the sales process is a little bit longer, you're going to probably be reaching that person in many different ways, via email, phone calls, presentations, and online. And social media can be one of those 107 touch points. The first opportunity of social media is just to be where your customers are, because if you're not there, you're going to be missing out on opportunities. You want to have that online presence. You want to be doing business virtually, because we can't actually physically be related to each other in the same room. So instead, you've got this chance to connect with potentially an endless source of new business. You've got 3.5 billion social media users, and that's almost half of the global population. And those are big numbers. So I may not be the one person that can give you this information. You're probably going to hear this from multiple people, from multiple channels, but it's possibly one of the best ways for you to connect with your customers now online. So that said, this is a way to meet new potential customers. So you can actually find new lead sources that will help you increase your sales. If you are, let's say, a private clinic, a private doctor, or a distributor in a smaller region, for example, you may be wanting to focus more on Instagram. If you're really oriented towards hospital administrators, you probably want to focus on Twitter or LinkedIn. And those are just 4 different sources of leads. And for some of you, you'll want to look at other social media channels, such as WeChat, Sing, there's WhatsApp and Telegram groups, and even so many that I haven't been using myself. This year especially, TikTok has been getting big. If you can create music videos of your products, more power to you. So this is just social media is just one of many different ways that you can prospect and find new business connections. It is part of the sales funnel. So the first thing that is in the sales funnel is awareness, is building that brand awareness. People have to hear and know about you before they do business with you. And social media can help you to develop that. Instead of one-to-one contact, by posting on social media platform, you can reach a lot more people. Then moving down the funnel, you're going to be getting in front of that person multiple times once they like your channel, once they like your profile, and you can start to engage with them. You can start to send them even direct messages, find out what their interests are, and what really drew them to start to follow your profile. And eventually that could even lead to sales. So that's the main idea. Using social media, you can direct your audiences to landing pages, you can direct them back to your website, or to the place where it is most useful for you to connect with them for the final purchase. When you're deciding what channel is right for your business, there's a lot of different factors to take into account. First of all, LinkedIn has notably been used by business professionals, and it really reflects that in terms of the audience. It's about 50-50 female and male in terms of demographics. So that you can keep in mind when you're trying to contact public hospitals and government administrators. It allows you to search directly by job title, by organization, and many other parameters. With Twitter too, you can really find out a lot about a person before you connect with them. And once you're connected, you can direct message them. So it's really good to be able to have a one-to-one direct connection and start a conversation. With Facebook and Instagram, they're really great for connecting with private urologists, private men's clinics, and getting in front of consumers and end users. They're very visual. You can use different types of graphics. You can use video. So it's really a matter of what audience you're going after. These are some of the objectives that that you can see. The social media can help you to reach a goal and how you can measure it. So the first step is the awareness that you can measure with followers and shares, for example. You can also start to measure engagement through the number of likes and mentions, and you can eventually drive leads and sales by looking at your behind the scenes of your website, how many website clicks you have through Google Analytics. You can see how many email signups you have, and so on and so forth. These are some social media demographics, so you could really, again, drill down into who is the right audience for you and your business, and what is the right channel for you. So LinkedIn, let's say, has the most users from India, China, Brazil, and Great Britain. It's also very high number of users in Russia, Turkey, Japan, Mexico. So it's very well known and used in those countries. In Facebook, for example, you have 79% of 30 to 49-year-olds use Facebook. So you have a lot of younger doctors, younger administrators using Facebook. It's still the #1 social media platform in terms of number of users. You also have older audiences using Facebook. It's the largest number of audiences who are older using this channel. So we've got 68% of 50 to 64-year-olds use Facebook. And in terms of Twitter, 262 million monthly users, all outside of the US. And you see this chart below, only 30% are female and 70% are male. So that's something to consider. If your business is focused on ED treatments, you can actually use Twitter to your advantage on focusing on those male audiences. One of the things you want to use social media to do and developing your business is really get into those deeper connections because it is social media is about being social. It's all about connecting with people and sharing, exchanging. One of the things that can really boost your business is finding a key opinion leader. And this isn't new news, but you can find someone such as this Dr. Linda Gergis, and she has 106,000 people following her. And once you've connected with an influencer in your local region, that means that more people are in her audience are also seeing, you're gaining the visibility of her audience as well, if she is liking or sharing or interchanging with you. Some other ideas that can help are you can start posting on your networks and sharing with your customers all the content that we provide you. We're posting on a regular basis, so we'll make your job really easy to just share what we're already producing. And you can follow all our channels and just share what we're doing already. You can also adopt them and change the language to your own. And you can find best of the month treatment photo. Let's say if one of your customers has nice images, they're willing to participate and work with you on that. That's a great way to grab attention of potential new customers as well. Some of the things that you want to keep in mind just when you're interacting on social media. Now, these are probably things that you'll think it's the same as you would in any kind of public platform. You wouldn't want to say these things on television. You wouldn't want to say these things in the news. What you are actually posting online could be there forever. So just some things to consider. Those are some ideas that you want to keep in mind when you're posting on social media. You also wouldn't want to say vagina or sex, because your account or even Metaspec's account in connection with yours could be shut down. If you're posting as a doctor, the protocol here is to identify yourself first before you express or make a statement. You need to say, I'm Dr. So-and-so, and this is my point of view. And then you can share what it is you have to say on social media. And of course, always keep in mind to protect your patient confidentiality and privacy. Some of the universal keywords that we are using with Metaspec posts could be men's health, ED. Sometimes we use different countries. You could say like Arabic health, Turkey health, Russia health, hashtag, and the two words actually have to be together when you hashtag them. Like this example with men's health. There's no apostrophe and no space, and that's to be able to categorize your posts so they can be found online. These are some relevant hashtags for Metaspec, and I can also help you to research new hashtags that could be relevant for your audiences. It could be that you're so me, for example, is one particular for urologists. It just means urologists on social media. It's like an acronym, you're so me. But there's really a lot of different hashtags. Like popular on Twitter is hashtag medtwitter, MED Twitter. So there's really a lot of different hashtags that could be useful in depending on the platform you're using. Here's a couple of examples of how you could be using social media in your region. You can translate the messages that we already are producing to your local language, and that way it can have more meaning in terms of the content for the people in your region and your audiences. I think this is one in the Philippines or Cambodia. This is a post on a local industry group. The group is actually called Medical Manufacturers Looking for Distributors, but that's really specific for what Metaspec is doing, and you can find a very specific group that's relevant for you in your region. Usually there's going to be at least one kind of medical group that could be useful for you in your country. And if you need any help finding that, I'm happy to help you with research. But basically, becoming active in a relevant industry group is something that is going to help you to make those connections, to create new business opportunities. Another way that you can approach social media is to mention a reason or incentive to connect with someone. So why would someone want to connect with you? What do you offer? Is there something of value that you can give them? Can you give them a brochure? Can you give them an ebook? Can you give them a piece of advice? Here, this is just offering, if you're interested in growing your medical practice, we have some ideas. So that's another opportunity to connect. You could also offer deals and for special occasions. There's a lot of different holidays for every country, and they're very unique and individual for your culture. So this is just an example for the end of year. We offered the special holiday season deals, but you can actually adopt some special occasions for your region, and you're welcome to work with us on those ideas. Another thing just to point out is really, you can really get a lot of impact for very little using social media. I've seen some amazing work done just using, for example, humor. There's so many comedians who have used humor to talk about erectile dysfunction. So one thing you could do is use those different comedians and repost what they say. There was one we shared from Jay Leno. If you go back through our news feeds, you can find this Jay Leno feature, but pretty much almost every comedian has done some sort of a a little stint on ED. So using humor is another way to connect with people, as well as to attract attention with creativity. This is one thing we did was we commented on different YouTube videos of a particular company to get in front of that company to get their attention. And we submitted inquiries to their website, and eventually we did get their attention. And the co-founder of the company wrote to the head of medicine that he was interested in doing business. So using humor, using creativity, there's a lot of things that you could do to reach new business opportunities. We want to just offer you and remind you what services you have available as a distributor with Metaspec. You have all the brochures, you have webinars that we continue to offer. You also have testimonials from around the world. They're on our website, and we're constantly posting new ones. You also have all the videos that are posted on our YouTube channel. And more recently, you have ongoing social media across Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram that you can use at your disposal. You can adopt those or make alterations as you see fit for your region. We can also provide you with different selfie signs that you could use, and you can take them to your hospital or clinics that you work with. And for every Metaspec training, we can also recognize your participation on social media and just congratulate you for participating in any social media training. Here's some examples of the selfie kits that we've seen, and we have to share already. There's #1 doctor's office, I love my job, and these docs are all stars. Posting these have really gained a lot of traction and attention for both the doctors and the distributors who have used them. The bottom line is that social media is social, so we can get out there and start socializing. Any questions?
Okay, Robin, thank you for this lovely presentation. As I suggested earlier, this is the right time to write any question that you have on the chat box, so Robin can address that. Robin, you did a very good job. I know you have a soaring throat, so thanks again for this special effort. I'm very glad that people are now were able to see you. I think that is a good opportunity so that everybody can connect with you directly. If any of the distributors want to have a one-on-one with you and to see how they can push their social media, I think it will help everybody for our business efforts. I already got one comment on the chat. Congratulations, Robin, as we can see good activity on social media. I have some questions we got by email. Let me present. The first one is, well, if you're not convinced by now, somebody was asking, why do I need social media? I'm still doing things in person or by phone or email as I did in the past 20 years. Robin, do you want to relate to that, please?
Sure. Well, basically, it really has to do with your readiness to change. It is difficult to make any changes, but now that we don't have the opportunities for trade shows, which is where the majority of people were connecting and doing business in this industry, meeting virtually is really the best way to go. So you may have to think about, like if you're making New Year's resolutions or buy yourself a new pair of shoes, walking around in some new shoes this 2021, and those virtual shoes are what you need to get around in 2021 because we can't physically go to meet the person. Does that help answer the question?
Yes, I think you did. There's another question here. I think this is a challenge we are all facing since we are, marketing several products. The question is, social media is a definite platform for ED. How about the other products?
That's a good question. I've seen all kinds of products on social media. I've seen hospital carts. I've seen catheters. So I really don't think that it's limited just for ED solutions, for example. But we do make posts, and we have posted before about our vet spec and radio spec and all kinds of other treatments. So I do think that there's a lot of opportunities for the other products as well.
Okay.
Are there more questions?
Yes, there are more questions. Um, how often should I be posting?
Okay. How often should you be posting? Well, basically, we're posting at least a minimum of 3 times a week. So that's what I would suggest to you as well. 2 or 3 times a week. If you're not posting at all and you can only have time to post 1 time a week, that's fine. It's better than nothing. But if you do have the time to just you share what we've posted and you don't have time to create anything new, that's also fine. As long as you're being somewhat active to be able to have a presence. Just having a presence is really a requirement in today's business world. So it's one thing that you want to do just to stay current in business during these times.
Okay. Here's another question. Maybe I will try to reply to that one. A quick feedback on how was medical virtual? Did you had enough footfalls? It was not comfortable to go through. So yes, this is correct. This is we exhibited in virtual medica in November. It was our kind of A/B testing to see what it will lead. Unfortunately, we didn't see much results in terms of leads or exposure. We had some leads, which were mainly other companies trying to sell us their services. So we didn't. So from our experience, it was not really fruitful in getting leads, in getting in front of our customers, or which are distributors or doctors. And unfortunately, our conclusion was that it was not that beneficial for us. So we are going to reconsider now if we are going to attend another virtual exhibitions or wait for the actual exhibitions to open up. Hopefully next year we will see some real-time exhibitions. Here's another question I got for you, Robin. Do you think the potential customer will not give social media much credibility as in traditional media or word of mouth? What can a distributor or seller do to create more credibility using social media?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And there is a lot of hearsay on social media. So it is really about building credibility. You can use some of the testimonials that we post and that are on our website. We create new testimonials all the time. We also have a lot of clinical studies that we share. So sharing these type of things are really what establish the credibility of the products and of the business, because you do have a lot to stand behind the products. You have a lot going on. You have a lot of there's a history of 30 years of clinical studies on shock waves. There's other doctors who not only approve of the product, but are willing to speak positively about it. So if you just are looking for more testimonials or more clinical studies, you can come and ask us. We're here to help. So if you need more of those, we can definitely help you with those. We also have, been posting those regularly on the social media channels, and you have them on our website as well.
The next question is regarding the hashtags. I know that you touched it during the presentation. I personally started using them. I'm not sure how much they are beneficial. Maybe you can explain more I mean, if you're not using hashtags or if you're using it, what's the benefit of that?
Hashtags, it really depends on which social media channel you're using for them to be effective. If you use 2 or 3 hashtags on LinkedIn and Facebook, that's kind of best practice right now. 2 or 3. Instagram, you can have the sweet spot is between 15 and 30, but probably no more than 30 hashtags. And LinkedIn, but did I mention all of them? I think LinkedIn, just 1 or 2 to 3 hashtags is sufficient. With Twitter, you can also have only up to a certain number of characters, so you're limited with that as well. But hashtags basically help your messages to get found. If someone is opening up their news feed or their social media feed, you want to get found on those particular words. So it could be kidney stones, hashtag kidney stones, no spaces in between the 2 words, hashtag. You can basically put whatever the symptom is, like hashtag back pain. Let's say that's probably a big one, and there's probably a lot of people searching on solutions for back pain, and people that don't know that back pain is one of the symptoms of having kidney stones. So that's probably a really good one to use too. And if you're looking for more information about using hashtags, I can help you more individually, because it can also depend on your region, where you want to, what messages you want to focus on. Does that help?
Yes, I think this helped very much. I don't see any more question here. So I would like again to thank you, Robin. I think it was a very a very good learning experience for us. And again, I encourage everybody to contact Robin and our marketing team or your sales manager, so we can consult you and work together with you in your market. We are very happy to do that. I would like to thank all the Medispec team for making this happen, and also for our audiences or distributors from around the world. Some of you I see from Australia, all the way from Australia, Japan, and the rest of the world. This session was recorded, and we were happy to share it with you in a few more days. Thank you very much.
Thank you.